So what we're gonna go over right now is what you should be doing with your athletes for the month of June. So ideally, weeks 1 to 2 is recovery. So very minimal, hopefully they're having a vacation from the gym. In week 3, hopefully you're doing the assessment. So there's both the range of motion physiological assessment, and then for those of you who are really motivated to do the whole comprehensive aspect of this periodized plan, you can do the performance assessment as well. Then the final week, we just thrown in some basic exercises that will work on some range of motion and movement patterns. So here we go. Day 1, first thing we're gonna do is a seated band pull apart. So you're going to have the athlete sit in front of a wall. Now for all of these exercises, you're doing within the rep range of 12 to 15. So I'm not gonna demonstrate all 12 to 15, I'll just do the basic exercises. The athlete sits nice and tall with the shoulders pulled back. You're gonna have the athlete with the palms up. Set the core and just actively pull the hands back. If you're doing this right up against the wall, you can give them the cue to press their thumbs into the wall, hold for a second, and then come back. So what I'm showing here is the horizontal plane. If you want to modify this a little bit, change the range of motion just slightly, you can do, say, 6 repetitions within this plane, and then 3 repetitions on an angle like so, and then 3 repetitions on the 45-degree angle on the opposite side. It wouldn't be wrong to do all repetitions on the horizontal plane and then half on each angle if you would like to do that. So again, with every single exercise, 12 to 15 reps, and we're aiming to do 3 sets of all these exercises. The second exercise is a ball hip curl and bridge. So you're gonna take the ball, you're going to place your feet on top of it, palms are up, again, shoulders down and back, draw the belly button in to set the core, lift the hips, you're going to curl, boost the hips up, maintain that hip bridge without extending into the low back, and then slowly extend. Again, curl in, boost the hips, and slowly extend. 12 to 15 reps. The third exercise in that first little superset is a correct arch up. Now, I do not have very good range of motion here. Your athletes will have a much better range of motion, but the cues that you'll give the athletes will be the same. So hands are going to be extended, and when a lot of athletes, when they do an arch up, what they're gonna do is they're gonna hyperextend or extend mainly through the low back. And the whole point of this exercise is to teach the athletes how to go into a global extension. So the first thing you're going to cue the athletes is to squeeze the butt, then brace through the belly button, so pull the belly button in, and even before you're lifting, you're cueing the athletes to breathe fully through that rib cage. So I'm gonna practice here without even lifting, a few breaths deep through the rib cage while maintaining a little bit of a belly button pull in. Then I can cue the athletes to lift up without cheating. So cheating would be hyperextending into that low back. I'm maintaining a chin tuck. I'm maintaining the shoulders down and back. I'm gonna hold for about 20 seconds, focusing on that full deep breathing. And then I will release. I'm gonna re-cue the athletes, and I'm gonna do another 2 sets of 20 seconds. So again, you are trying to get as big an extension as possible, but only if it's global. If you're seeing the athletes mainly extending through the low back, make sure you're correcting that. So you're gonna do those 3 exercises. 1, 2, 3, repeat them again, 1, 2, 3, and again, 1, 2, 3. Then we go on to the next sequence. So the next sequence of 3 exercises is the push-up hand release. So you can either take this from the toes, or if it's too challenging for the athletes, you can take it down through the knees. You're gonna have the athletes get into a push-up position, watch the shoulder blades. If they're winging like so, you've gotta teach them how to push out of the heels of their hands to get that good shoulder blade position. You're gonna slowly come all the way down, release the hands. So I'm pulling up the hands, squeezing through the shoulder blades, and then pressing back up. Again, watch, I'm not letting those shoulder blades collapse. Push down, hand release, and press back up. I'll do a few reps a little bit quicker so you see what it looks like. Then next exercise in that set is the Dowell Deadlift. So you can do this a couple of different ways. If you just want to work on the movement pattern, so later in the phases we're going to be loading the athletes. If your athletes can get the proper deadlift feel just by having the bar or the dowel in the typical deadlift position, you can do that. The cues that you're going to be looking for: weight loaded through the heels, shoulders set down and back, the bar comes down to just slightly below shin level, weight is back, you're watching that low back, you don't have an excessive arch. So I can see in the mirror, I was arching a little bit there. I'm going to cue the athlete to tuck in to make sure they have that nice neutral spine. Now for some athletes, you're going to try to teach that pattern and they're going to be doing some funky things like this. If that's the case and they are having trouble finding that good, strong, straight position, what you can have the athlete do is take the bar back behind their spine. So this cues the athlete. You want the athlete to try and keep their spine in that same position as the dowel. So again, weight loaded through the heels, shoulders down and back. I'm going to push my hips back, have the athlete go down to about perpendicular to the floor, squeeze through the glutes to come back up. Again, this is more about developing proper movement patterns. 12 to 15 reps, you can even go higher in order to get the movement pattern ingrained into the athlete's head. And then finally, we've got a prone bar liftoff. So to work on shoulder range of motion, you're going to take a floor bar. I didn't have access to a floor bar, so I'm going to use the stick. You get the athlete positioned in front of a panel mat. Set the shoulders down and back. Draw the belly button up if you can. Also, for those athletes who know what a Kegel is, cue them to hold the P muscles. Grab the bar. I'll reset my shoulders down and back, and then cue a chin tuck. I'm going to lift the hands up as far as I can go. Hold for one breath. Expanding through the rib cage. Exhale. And then release back down. Lift. Single breath. Shoulders down and back. And down. If they can get a little bit more of a thoracic extension than I can, that's great, as long as they're not extending into the low back. Again, sequence those 3 exercises, 12 to 15 reps, repeat 3 times, and that's your day 1.